And take a moment to shift. Reset yourself. I had someone in class, I can't remember if it was yesterday or Tuesday, say, why did you make us move our sitting bones? And, aside from that movement to help tilt the pelvis, that actual action of resetting is really beneficial for giving yourself this chance to come to this place, right? To tune into being present right here, where my sitting bones are. And so with that, press your hands into your upper thighs. Just give a couple of movements forward and back through the pelvis so that you can feel your sitting bones and feel that fluidity of the hips. And then come to a centered still place. You can move your hands to wherever it's comfortable. Let your eyes close. And then take a moment to start to find that breath that moves evenly in and out of the nose. And give yourself that information of whatever is showing up for you in your body as you sit. Any sensations that are present or thoughts in the mind. And then bring hands to connect at heart center. And as you gently press your palms together, lift up higher through your heart. And exhale, bow toward your heart. And softly opening your eyes, release your hands down and lift your gaze. Your shoulders lift up and back. And then add a little movement here through your neck and head, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then shake your head. And nod your head. And then back into center now. And bring fingertips to touch your shoulders. And from right there, just notice if that movement to touch your shoulders created any kind of sensation, especially if you were doing any yard work, it might have. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height and then pull shoulder blades onto your back. And now keep shoulder blades engaging as you draw your elbows in toward each other to touch or toward touching. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, elbows toward touching. A couple more times this way. Just thinking of keeping a little engagement with the shoulder blades as you move your elbows. And think of allowing your breath and your movement to match. And then release your arms down, give your shoulders a little roll back and roll forward. And now this time, fingertips on your shoulders again. And lift elbows up to shoulder height. Shoulder blades are connecting. And now as you draw your elbows in, this time go ahead and let them come pretty close, even though your shoulder blades are moving away from each other. Then inhale up and around, exhale to touch. Inhale up and around, and exhale to touch. A couple more this way. Then on your next inhale, switch directions. Inhale back and up, exhale down the front. Full inhale, long, deep exhale. One more. And release your arms down. And again, roll back with shoulders. And roll forward with shoulders. And then switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. And then as you press down into your upper thighs again, take that movement with your pelvis. Tilt your pelvis forward and back. Give yourself that information of whatever's going on through your low back, through your hips. And then find that tilt of your pelvis so your belly's coming a little forward. Gratitude arms, elbows hug in, rotate open, finding that expansion through the front of you. And then take ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Back to center with your head. Move up and down with shoulder blades just 2 to 3 times. And then re-rotate your arms, expanding more through the front, feeling shoulder blades engage. And then fingertips to connect in front. Press fingertips together, elbows lift to shoulder heights, ballerina arms here. And then round back through your upper back, your chin tucks in towards your chest. Add some movement here side to side through the shoulders. And then coming back into center now, releasing your arms down, hands walk out to your knees, and just 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, belly and heart forward. Exhale, press your spine back. Couple more full breaths. Then inhale, sit tall, walk your hands forward, and make your way here into as deep a forward fold as your body is ready for. And that might mean elbows or hands up on something in front of you. Just take the time to shift a little and move a little, allowing length through your sides, allowing yourself that opportunity to sense whatever sensations are present. And now gently bring yourself all the way back upright. And we'll shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Pause here. And find that rotation of your upper arm bones that helps broaden through the collarbones and push. Then inhale, reach back with your right leg, turn open with your right hip. Bend your knee and press your heel toward the left side. Getting a little stretch through your right thigh. Engage your low belly a little. And then step right foot forward in between your hands. Work your back knee back as far as you need. Take a couple big breaths. Blocks are always an option here. And as you lengthen your sides, just notice for yourself this asymmetric pose and what it brings for sensation. And now walk your hands to the inside, heel toe your right foot out to the right, your knee and toes are in the same direction. And then lift up with the front part of your foot. So pick the ball of your foot up, you're on your heel as your pivot point. And then open and close with your knee. As you turn it open and close, just notice again if there's any part of that that is sticky, if it's difficult to move through. And then keeping your knee open, start to move a little forward and back with your hips. And then go ahead and come forward with your hips, heel toe your foot back in. And with your hands on either side of your front leg, come up to the highest point of your blocks and work your front leg towards straight, coming to a hamstring stretch. As you add this stretch into the hamstrings, pull toes back considerably if you have a good, strong flex. Push your heel down so your knee has a little bend, and then wrap your right hip back. At the same time, tilt your sitting bones up. Extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. And then bend into your front knee and settle back on the hands and knees. And let's go ahead and take a child's pose. One of the best ways to get a sense for what's showing up in the body or those sensations that might be different on each side right now. Take a couple big breaths and let your head come down if that's comfortable. And now inhale, rising up to hands and knees. Again, find that rotation of your upper arm bones and push into your hands, expanding into the upper back. And then inhale, stretch back with your left leg. Turn open with your hip, bend your knee, press your heel toward the right side. As you lengthen through your thigh, engage the low belly. Take a full big breath. And then step left foot forward in between your hands. And walk your back knee back as far as you need. Extend further forward through your heart. And take a full, deep inhale and exhale. And now walk your hands to the inside. Heel toe your left leg, your left foot to the left, knee and toes in the same direction. And then lift up with the front part of your foot. And then start that movement, open and close with your knee. And then keeping your knee as open as is comfortable, move your hips a little forward and back. And then foot back into center, heel toe it back in, hands on either side of your front leg, rise up to the high parts of your blocks, and then work your hips back. Front leg towards straight, hamstring stretch on the second side, pull your toes back and press your heel down. And then wrap back with your hip. At the same time, lift up with sitting bones. Extend your front ribs forward, collarbones forward. Take a full, big, deep breath. Good, and bend into your front knee. And again, settle back into your child's pose. As you settle your hips back, take a couple big, deep breaths to shift, to move, to let yourself get a sense of what's happening in your body. And then allow yourself to come to stillness here, letting your head settle, letting your body settle in. And then gently bring yourself all the way back upright, all the way down to sitting bones. And soles of feet come together. And drawing feet in towards you or pushing them out a little ways, depending on what your low back needs. So notice if your low back is rounding back and adjust accordingly. Lift your ribs up, your heart up. Take a big deep breath right here. And then inch your feet even closer together so it's more of your pinky toe edge that's pressing in. And then energetically reach out to the sides through your thighs. And as you reach out to the sides, to the walls beside you, just notice whatever is there for sensation. Notice what it is that's showing up as maybe a stretch or a little work. And then release that reach, sit even taller. And then if it's in your practice, walk your hands forward and take a little bit of a fold. You can always bring hands or elbows down onto props in front of you. You can always keep your hands at your feet. Or you can always sit up higher and bring your hands behind you. Just take a couple moments to notice. Do little shifts to help yourself find more space, more length. And then inhale, gently bring yourself all the way back upright and extend your legs out in front of you and move your sitting bones. And from right here, you can pick if you want your bolster or a rolled up blanket underneath your legs. And go ahead and bend your knees enough to slip a prop underneath. And then let your legs come out to rest. And your legs can be more wide, more narrow, or somewhere in between. And then move sitting bones. Reset yourself. Press down with fingertips beside you. Lift up through your heart space. And then from here, we're folding toward our legs as deeply as your body is ready for. And for me, sometimes it feels the best to just rest my elbows right on my thighs, or to rest my elbows on the inside of my legs on my prop, or to reach for feet. So you get to decide how that looks for you today, how that feels for you today. What are your body sensations? And take a couple big breaths. If you want, you can close your eyes. We have about 3 more big breaths. And then inhale, sit all the way up tall. Walk your feet in. Take your prop out from underneath. And now we're going to work toward a fire log pose, which we haven't done in a while, I don't think, but it's a pretty intense hip opener. So make sure you've got all your props handy and ready. Left leg, create A bend to your knee, leg in front of you, shin approximately parallel with the front of your mat. Right leg, flex your foot and set your ankle past your knee. And so if you can see, my knee is pretty lifted here. It's okay. We get to prop that. But the other aspect of it too is if this is just a bit much today on the body, then maybe set your foot in front. It's still a hip opener, okay? But keep both feet flexed. Find where that is for you. And then press down with fingertips beside you or behind you and lift up taller through your sides. Reflex your feet. And then if it's in your practice, you can walk your hands forward. If your body is saying, oh, heck no, then walk your hands back, okay? Just by bending your knees and crossing them this way, we're creating some sensation. So find where your breath can be used to soothe and calm your nervous system. And even though you have your feet a little bit active, maybe your breath can help you with some of the connections around the hip to calm down a little bit. Let's take another full deep breath. And inhale, rise all the way back up. And we'll switch the cross. Right leg in front, on the bottom rather. Shin approximately parallel to the front of your mat. Flex your foot. Left foot flexes and cross the ankle past the knee, okay? So if you have yourself on the knee directly, then this gives your ankle a chance to do that sickling, okay? So we're trying to keep that dorsiflex, right? Toes back towards your knee. And it helps to take your ankle past your knee. Again, prop however you need to, or take your foot off and set it on the ground. That's okay too. Move your sitting bones. And then press down with fingertips, lift up with your heart. And then begin to walk your way forward if that's in your practice. If it's not, stay upright. Yeah. Take a big couple of breaths. Notice on this side what it feels like. Whether you need to make this side look a little different. Choose some compassion for yourself. And in particular, choose to shift if your breath is not able to calm your nervous system. Take another full big breath. And then inhale, rise all the way back up and uncross your legs. And set your footprints on the ground. And then one more time, we're gonna take our feet together in our butterfly so that we can just notice any of the stuff there now, whether it's shifted, whether it's stayed the same, but pull feet as close as your body is ready for to be able to maintain that length through your spine all the way at your pelvis. And take that forward fold here if that's in your practice. And maybe, just maybe, you notice a little shift in what's happening in your body. Maybe you don't, maybe it feels the same. Just take in the information. And now inhale, gently bring yourself back upright. And you can take your legs to whatever position feels good to bring your bolster out in front of you. And now with your bolster out in front of you, turn sideways to the right and bend your knees back. And then turn your belly and your heart towards your bolster. And start to rest over your bolster, taking this restorative version of a twist. Take some full, big, deep breaths. And remember that you can always shift and adjust. Change the angle of your legs. A little more deep breaths on this side. And then gently use your hands to bring you back upright. Turn yourself to face the other way. And again, knees bend back. And then turn your belly, turn your heart, and start to rest. Coming to that place of settling, so shift and move however you need to make it more comfortable. Couple more full breaths. And then use your hands to support you to bring yourself back upright. And then we're going to switch sides again, only this time we're going to turn it into an IT band stretch. So extend your left leg out to the right side. And then your right leg back behind you, and your right leg can be bent or straight, whichever way. But then ultimately we're trying to rotate onto the outside of our leg and hip. So turn yourself so that your leg, your toes can be pointed more straight ahead as opposed to up. So shift your bolster to where you need it to be and then start to rest. And remember that you can always make this a little bit more gentle for yourself. You can always bend one or both knees, or you can make both legs straight. Find what is best in your body, where your breath can help your nervous system calm. Two more full breaths on this side. And then gently use your hands to help you rise back up. Bend both knees and then turn yourself the other way one last time. And then extending your right leg out to the left leg back behind you. Start to rotate over that leg onto the outside of the hip, and then rest over your bolster. Taking another full deep breath. And then gently press yourself back up to your seat, bending both knees. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. From your back, be sure you can reach everything. Then as you lay down on your back, draw knees up close, and you have your choice. You can have them narrow or wide. You decide, and then take a couple of pulses here. In and out, gently pulling your knees in a little bit more and then releasing. You're welcome to change how wide or narrow your legs are and just notice that feeling of compression and release in different widths. And now set left foot on the ground, extend your right leg up long and straight, or as straight as is comfortable. Flex your foot, hold on around the backside of your thigh and give a push. Push hamstrings into hands, take a full big deep breath. If you want to, you can lengthen your left leg out. Do a couple of flexes and points here. Little circular motion with your ankle. And then circle the other way. And then back to that strong flex, pulling toes back toward your knee. Repress hamstrings into hands. And now releasing your hands, bend your knee and open your knee up to the right side. Your right hand can be on the inside of your knee here if you would like. Give your foot a flex and then add a little bit of movement forward and back. And then your knee comes back into center. Give it a squeeze. And then set right foot on the ground. Bend your left knee and then extend your leg toward the ceiling. Clasp your hands behind the back side of your leg and press hamstrings into your hands. Give your foot a flex. Take a couple of full breaths here. You can always lengthen your right leg all the way out if you want. And then some flexes and points. And then circle in one direction. And circle in the other direction. And then a good strong flex. Press hamstrings again into your hands. Another full deep breath. And then bend your knee, open it up to the left side. Left hand on the inside of your knee if you want. Deep breath, little forward and back movement here. And then your knee comes back into center and give it a squeeze. And now both footprints come to the ground. Walk your feet wide, knees drop in together to touch. Hands come to your hip bones. Just for a moment, a little bit of tilt forward and back with the pelvis, allowing for that lift and lower of the low back. Allowing for that lift and lower through the sitting bones. And then come to that neutral place for your pelvis. Separate your knees, walk your feet wide, and drop both knees over to the left side. Check your right thigh, make sure it's straight ahead from your hip. Give both feet a flex. And then if you want to, you can add that foot over the thigh. So take left foot over your right thigh for that added thigh stretch. For that added little lift through the hip. Just recognize for yourself if there's any discomfort through ankles or knees, then by all means take the foot off the thigh. Welcome to add the length through your sides with your arms reaching overhead if you would like to. And then gently take your left foot off your thigh if it's still there. Knees back up to center, feet wide, and drop both knees over to the right side. Check your left thigh, making sure that it's got that straight ahead position. Flex both feet, and if you want to, you can add the right foot over the thigh. Keeping feet active, maybe reach your arms. Take a couple big breaths. And then gently take the foot off of your thigh if it's there. Bring knees back up to center. Arms back down by your sides. And start to settle yourself into a super comfortable resting position. Find your Shavasana. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add a little movement into fingers and into toes. And then as you're ready to bend your knees and roll to your side. And slowly bring yourself back up to your seat. And connect hands together at heart center. And take a moment for a full deep breath to tune back into whatever sensations are there. Have a very peaceful rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste. Thanks, Kelly.